Chad Pennington walked into a house full of 68,000 plus hostile fans tonight and has ignored them, hitting his first 11 passes, including 2 for touchdowns, as the Jets have assumed a 14-7 lead on the New England Patriots.
A lot of times you look at a young quarterback and you find a little bit of a flaw, whether it's management, delivery, footwork. There isn't anything that I see in Chad Pennington that is a problem.
Martin dives forward to the 28. You look at the quarterback comparison, Pennington's numbers are tremendous just by themselves, but you compare them to Tom Brady, who has really struggled early. He only has 5 yards passing. Pennington, 173 in the first quarter. That would come out to about 692.
Oh, come on.
The game. That'd be
good.
pretty good.
Well, that was the math you did was pretty good.
Thank you. Lamont Jordan, the new back. Pennington fakes it to him. Now under pressure. And this one is batted away by Tabucky Jones, intended for Chris Baker. They tried to get the tight end deep.
Well, that was the only place that Chad Pennington could go. He had no place else to throw the ball except to Chris Baker.
Hey, he finally got an incompletion.
But when you take a look at it, watch, this is not the primary target. He's looking. Now he sees the rush coming. He's got to let it go.
Bobby Hamilton was the guy applying the pressure. And now Turk to kick to Brown. Short. And will die at around the 40-yard line. A kick of only 32. Brady hoping to get untracked. His guys are down by a score.
شباب قدسية اتحاد الرياض الرائد الشعلة نصر اتفاق طائي ونجمة الدوري مشعل شدوا الهمة.
كل الدوري السعودي فقط على جهاز أوربت.
احصل على جهاز أوربت مجانا، لا تفوت هذه الفرصة واشترك الآن.
رفاهية واحدة في الحياة أصبحت سهلة المنال. أوربت بأسعار جديدة في متناول الجميع.
The quest for the ring begins here.
Proof of Life, premiering soon on Super Movies.
ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL, an official airline of Super Bowl 37. Skill, what's next? Heineken, it's all about the beer. Heineken. And Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. From New England, our aerial coverage tonight, courtesy of Southwest Airlines.
Boy, this sure is a different ball game from last night's.
Where were we last night?
I don't know, but I was watching one last night that didn't quite have the intensity of this one.
New England takes over at the 40. Smith on the draw, and the Jets have done a good job on their rush defense tonight.
You know, it's been amazing watching both of these teams when they're trying to run the ball with Antoine Smith. Is straight up the middle of the field. And I know you're not going to try to wear out the defensive line, but they're trying to run the ball up the middle. The same thing with Curtis Martin. I've not seen either one of these guys really try to get to the outside or get them to the outside.
I think that's the respect for the safeties you were talking about before. Lawyer Malloy and Sam Garnes being in places up around the corner and the edges.
Brady straight back. Dumps it over the middle. Smith dragged down by Mo Lewis. One of the best tacklers ever to play this game. He gets his hands on you, you're down.
New England needs to convert this third down for them, because what they're doing is they're starting to fall into the same kind of funk that they wound up against Tennessee on Monday night, where they weren't able to convert the first downs. Time of possession went against them, I think 18-30 to 41-30, and you're not going to score points if you don't have the football.
Four-man rush. Brady throws this one low. A bullet intended for Donald Hayes that short hops up to it.
You know what Brady's doing, Joe? He's not getting himself set to throw the ball.
Paul, you're absolutely right.
He's just back there jumping around, and you've got to depend on your offensive line that they're going to do the job so you can sit there and throw the football.
He struggled in the game we did against Oakland throwing the football. The ball got away from him a little bit. This one, he talks about wearing a glove. And because of the glove, in colder conditions and winds, he can snap the spirals off a little bit tighter. I think it's given him a little bit too tight a grip.
Walter again punts to Moss. Launched a rocket that time, and it bounces back toward the 10-yard line. Down by the Patriots, a punt of 44 yards. And Bernard Holsey, the first man down. Been a tough start for Brady.
شباب قدسية اتحاد الرياض الرائدة الشعلة لعب نظيف مهارة وهمة الكل ينافس يبغى القمة أوربت دوري نصر اتفاق طائي ونجمة الدوري مشعل شدوا الهمة عرض وطول سجل جول كل يقول أوربت على طول
كل الدوري السعودي فقط على جهاز أوربت.
احصل على جهاز أوربت مجانا. لا تفوت هذه الفرصة واشترك الآن.
تبغي المناقصة ولا ما تبغيها؟
أنا كنت مفكرة إنه أبو سعد ما بيعرف باللف والدوران، عم طلع معجون بمية عفاريت. ضيعت علينا الفرصة.
دواك عندي.
أمك هي السبب.
هذه مصالح يا زهور، مصالح. أنا اللي بتزوج، يعني أنا اللي بختار.
بس الله يعلم بالنوايا والأسرار.
في طريقي الضياع.
والحل حاولت من صوبك وأنا من صوبك.
درب الخطايا كل يوم الثاني والنصف بعد الظهر بتوقيت جرينتش على قناة المسلسلات.
Sing along, little Christmas music from New England.
Frosty the Snowman.
They do it differently up here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we've even got security with a 14-7 Jets lead. Deep sideline by Pennington. That will be out of bounds. Intended for Swain.
Chad Pennington has done the exact thing Paul Hackett, the coordinator, wanted him to do. Take some time to be able to work against two deep if you see it, and if it's single high. Just make your decisions. There's Santana Moss up top, and Lawyer Malloy is the strong safety. The play action fake will hold the safety just a little bit. You'll see Lawyer just hesitate for a second. He hesitates. That gives Santana a chance to get on top. And look what Santana does at the end. Just works back towards Chad Pennington.
Curtis Martin. Little room to run that time across the 15 near the 17-yard line. They have to reach the 20 for a first down.
The one other thing I talked to Paul Hackett about regarding Chad Pennington, what he needed to do tonight, he said because Bill Belichick throws so many different looks up, he wants to make it simple for them. Read half the field. If it looks like there's one guy single high, know where you want to go. If it's two, know where you want to go. Just recognize the safeties.
They're on their feet. They're on their feet.
Richie Anderson and Lamont Jordan are in on 3rd and 3. They both split out. Pennington flanker screen to Jordan. That looked like a live ball, but it went through his hands out of bounds.
Well, when you've got a quarterback that is as accurate as Chad Pennington, I don't know if that play is very high on my 3rd down selections. He's got to throw this over the defensive end, which makes it a tougher throw, and you can see Roman Pfeiffer, number 95, zeroing in to make a play.
Well, you don't think he has bad hands, Lamont?
No, I don't think he has bad hands. It's slippery.
Another short kick, Troy Brown. Trying to reverse his field, dragged down near the 45-yard line. All that run for a 4-yard return. Jason Glenn wouldn't let him go any further. Timeout here in Foxborough. 14-7 Jets.
Clap your hands for 2003. When there's a celebration, Orbit ESPN is there. In 2002, we made an event of every major sporting moment. And in 2003, we'll continue to be there. More outstanding soccer is coming your way with our special coverage of the Saudi Premier League and with the top-ranked football in Europe, the Champions League and the Spanish Liga.
Goal! Goal! Yatala!
The show will go on with the NFL from the supreme arena of the Super Bowl and from the courts of the Masters of Tennis and the stars of the NBA.
Oh, yeah! That's fantastic!
And it wouldn't be a party without the best from the horse racing tracks from around the world.
He's going all the way!
2003 on Orbit ESPN. Come and celebrate.
احصل على جهاز أوربت مجانا. اشترك الآن بأسعار في متناول الجميع ابتداء من $10 شهريا. للمزيد من المعلومات اتصل بأحد الأرقام التالية.
Premiering soon on Super Movies.
All I'm asking is for a little respect.
.30 left in the first half. Jets on top 7-0, and it has been a very ragged start for Tom Brady. 2 out of 8, only 10 yards passing so far.
He's thrown some ugly balls, too.
Patriots score came on a kick return. 4-man rush. That time, Brady throws a strike. First down at the 30, David Patton makes the catch.
He finally threw the ball down over 15 yards. That's the first time tonight that the Patriots have tried to get the ball down the field. Tom Brady has worked underneath basically 15 yards. He has to try and stretch that defense out just a little bit.
One of the few times he's had time to throw it.
Back to the I formation, Edwards and Smith. Brady under pressure, and down he goes. Pressure up the middle came from Sean Ellis and Josh Evans.
You know, I'm going to tell you what. Now, here's a case where you took out Tom Brady standing back there. This, I blame him. Even though the coverage downfield, watch how long he holds this ball. Here he is. He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. And then you can't expect the offensive line to hold them out that long. You've got to get rid of it.
Sean Ellis lost 15 pounds, moved from defensive tackle out to his natural position at end, and been a much bigger force for him.
Patton pushed out of bounds. How could you tell if Sean Ellis lost 15 pounds?
I read it.
Shoes. Look at his shoes.
Somebody told me. Yeah, his shoe size.
Put down one shoe size.
One shoe size. He does. I mean, he doesn't look 320, right?
What?
I mean, look, he doesn't look he looks like 295 now, doesn't he?
There's some lumps in there that we're missing.
I think he's missing a few lumps. A little thinner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's moving very quickly. He is thinner.
3rd and 11. Brady again knocked away by Beasley. Tremendous coverage.
Man,
that's two of those.
But another throw low outside. That's the third one he's thrown low and away. The last one he threw out there bounced halfway there. But watch the play. Watch where the ball winds up to Donald Hayes. It's down real low.
Well,
hey, if that's not low and away, it's picked.
Yeah, if it was up and high where you wanted it to be, that thing was gone.
But he's been throwing you talked about it before, Paul, rushing the throws just a little bit, forcing you to yank it down low.
Vinatieri having another Pro Bowl season. He will try one from 49. Got it. Mr. Clutch knocks another one through. It's 14-10. Jets over New England. Let's check in with Chris Berman.
The New York Football Giants, Mike, are all of a sudden an offensive juggernaut. In Indy against the Colts. Oh, those tricky Giants. Flea flicker, and this ball's going to go almost 60 yards in the air. Kerry Collins to well-dressed Amani Toomer. The Giants humble the Colts 44-27. They win next Saturday against Philly. They're in.
All right, Chris, and in the NFC, it's getting pretty simple to understand. Philadelphia, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco, all division winners, all in. The Giants have now moved in front of New Orleans in the playoff picture. Atlanta and the Giants right now have the two top spots. New Orleans with another crushing loss waiting in the wings.
Philadelphia controls home field advantage all the way if they beat the Giants next week.
How about the New Orleans Saints? They beat Tampa twice. They beat Green Bay. They beat Pittsburgh. Then they lose to Detroit, Cleveland, Minnesota, and Cincinnati.
Ouch.
I mean, it's a team that seems to find whatever the team that they're playing is playing like, that's the level that they've managed to play at.
Well, especially when the Bengals beat somebody once every 2 months, whether they need it or not. Jordan and Morton are deep for Vinatieri's kick. Morton from the 4. Ouch. Really stuck as he got to the 29 by J.R. Redmond. Let's go to Susie.
Well, tonight, Chad Pennington hasn't just been on target. He's been distributing the ball very well, too. He's hit 5 different receivers. Here's something that helped him to do that. Back in college at Marshall, he played with Randy Moss. The two hooked up for 24 touchdown passes, which set an NCAA season record. But Chad said that having Randy forced him to use other parts of the offense because Randy was always double or triple teamed. He couldn't afford to just hone in on Randy. Had to go somewhere else. It's working in the pros as well.
Everything he's doing is working, Susie. He's been spectacular tonight. That one is tipped and at the line of scrimmage by Richard Seymour and incomplete.
I'll tell you what it did teach you how to do playing with Randy Moss, how to throw it hard and deep.
He'd also have a real tough time getting it to him now.
Oh, yeah.
Being that Randy's in Minnesota and he's here with the Jets.
Be a long throw.
But he's got a Moss to throw to. It's like he gave up a Randy Moss, a big 6'4" version of it, and he got a little quick version in Santana.
And I don't know which one's faster either.
Randy
fast.
He's faster than anybody.
Did he put a show on yesterday against Miami?
Jets will try the ground. A neat move by Curtis Martin to make the first man give it up, and he got to the 35-yard line.
Tom Brady has not gone down the field deep much at all. Chad Pennington has taken a different approach. Susie talked about the distribution. The 1 for 2 up top to the right is a touchdown. He's worked the right side of the field. 4 for 5, 3 for 3. That's where they look like they have the opportunity. Oddly enough, that's where Ty Law normally resides.
And he spread it out. 6 to wide receivers, 2 to tight ends, 3 to backs. Draw play. Curtis Martin. First down and more.
Well, you know, Curtis Martin means so much to this football team. For the simple reason that the defense really has to respect him. Now what the Jets do is they spread everybody out, and all they have in the backfield is Curtis Martin. Look at his eyes.
Is that
and
all?
Watch him. That's all. And watch him come through that hole. I mean, here's a guy that's got outstanding feet. I mean, he's got speed, he's got hands, and his coordination is incredible, but his feet are the thing that makes him get through the hole.
Guy I've never felt got his fair share of credit. He's already number 16 all-time in the NFL in rushing. Pennington all day to throw through the hands of Wayne Corbett.
Well, that ball was a little bit high and away and behind and behind.
We're talking about Wayne Corbett
and
here.
behind.
We're talking about Wayne Corbett. Wayne never lets him get away. This one here, he's not going to get hit. He has no fear going across the middle. He just leaps in the air. He's not done real well with his feet off the ground. It's behind him.
And behind.
Very catchable.
This is a disagreement between a quarterback and a former wide receiver, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Punter.
And I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Both former punters.
Yeah. No. Whoa. Don't even get in that category.
Sorry.
One punt, Theismann.
Martin to the 48-yard line.
You were Paul, you made a great point about Curtis Martin and his feet. And that really has been the problem for him all year. Hurt his ankle in the first game, and he's been bothered by ankle injuries. As a matter of fact, he hasn't practiced on Wednesdays and Thursdays in over a month. This week, though, he was feeling better, did practice this week, and you can see the difference when he is healthy.
It's hard to keep him out of the game because he doesn't want to be out.
One of the best conditioned athletes ever.
Well, and Jerry Rice.
Said one of.
Yeah.
3rd and 6. Blitz. They pick it up, and Pennington with time. Corbett won't let that one go. He's down to the 43.
Now, do you see the difference, Joe, when you put the ball out front of the guy and how easy it is for him to catch it?
And you know he's going to make those kind of catches. But look at the poise of Chad Pennington. Watch the blitzes come. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to sit in the pocket. I'm just going to stop it once we get there. Watch this. He sits in the pocket right there. Look at the way he has the opportunity to be able to have that little bit of a pocket comfort level to step up and throw the ball.
Great protection. Pennington again. A lot of time to throw. Goes underneath to Richie Anderson, who really hasn't been that much of a weapon this year. Only had 38 catches coming in.
Joe, you know, you talk about the protection and being able to step up in the pocket. Just watch from Skycam, folks. Watch this whole thing open up for him. Here he steps up. Look at the lanes that he has to throw in. He can throw any place he wants to.
And the thing is also, is he's looking downfield, which means the secondary has to respect the look. And then he dumps it down. A lot of times quarterbacks go to their checkdowns too quickly and don't give the defense a chance to react.
Martin. Nice cut to get behind the block of Kevin Moreeeee. And that offensive line, particularly on pass protection, has been absolutely brilliant. Fabini, the left tackle, has started all 15 games. The big boost, Dave Zott coming back from injury. Great pulling guard. Kevin Moreeeee, the Pro Bowl center. Thomas is the right guard. And Kareem McKenzie is the right tackle.
And Mike, you're talking about that offensive line you mentioned on that last play. The center, Kevin Moreeeee, was the guy that was out in front of Curtis Martin on the sweep.
That's why he'll be heading for the Pro Bowl.
This guy's a great center.
Another first down for the Jets. Empty backfield. Flanker screen to Richie Anderson, and he wants to throw. Intended for Coles, beautifully covered by New England. Ty Law to Bucky Jones weren't buying it.
I always think, Joe, when they throw the ball out to a back like that, and it's his turn to pass, he's passing. I don't care if they got 8 guys on it. I'm throwing the ball. That's my job. I only get to throw it once or twice a year. Here it comes. Look at this. Look at the coverage. The coverage is phenomenal. At least he threw the ball out of the end zone.
If you're a quarterback, you can't throw this ball. But if you're a running back, you don't get many chances. But look at the spiral.
It's a great throw, but it's
tight spiral by Richie Anderson.
Style points, but nothing else. Knocked out of bounds for a short gain is the tight end Chris Baker.
A lot of times when I look at plays like that differently. You do it from a quarterback perspective. But when I do that, I just think that, okay, now we're going to make the defense really think that we're going to throw some junk at them, and you better be prepared for whatever we got coming down there.
Remember when Paul Hackett called the pass to Lamont Jordan on 3rd down? You get a feeling that pass there was setting up what he wanted to do with Richie Anderson.
He'd also thrown a couple other of those early. Blitz coming. Pennington rolls away from pressure. Tipped and almost picked by Leonard Myers. Excellent coverage on Crabette.
Oh. You're seeing some great work in the secondary tonight, folks.
And now John Hall will come on for a 39-yard field goal attempt. Myers in there because Otis Smith, the regular right corner, injured, shoulder damage, and he was put on injured reserve. Hall has had 4 field goals blocked this year and 2 extra points. Got that one up in plenty of time, hooking, and stayed inside the post. So we had an early exchange of touchdowns. Now we've had an exchange of field goals. And it's 17-10 New York.
Get into the game with the NBA on Orbit ESPN. Live Wednesday night at 11, the red-hot Boston Celtics tip off against the New Jersey Nets. The Celts are out to become the beast of the East at the Nets' expense. Following at 1:30, it's a royal matchup as the Kings meet the Lakers. Times are tough in LA as Shaq and company are looking up at the first-place Kings. Catch a double dose of NBA action beginning live Wednesday night at 11 on Orbit ESPN.
بيد الغدر.
نقف على جثته كما تقف النساء.
فماذا تفعل القبيلة؟
القتيل كريم والقاتل كريم.
تتأجج نار الثأر.
أعدك بأنني سأقتل كل فحل يعتز به من بني بكر.
ويقف عند مفترق الطرق.
إما أن تقتلني عوضا عن أخيك أو تأخذ منا ما يرضيك.
الزير سالم كل يوم الساعة 7:30 مساء على قناة المسلسلات.
A lesson on how to propose. 1. Make a good impression.
He's gonna love you, I promise.
2. Be confident.
I'm gonna go throw up now.
3. And most importantly, get along with the family.
You have another question? Sure, I got one question for you. It's, can you deal with that?
Meet the Parents, premiering Friday at 8 and Saturday at 10 exclusively on Super Movies.
Stunning stadium here in Foxborough, replacing the original Foxborough Stadium.
Which wasn't stunning.
No, it wasn't. Stunning is not the word you'd think of, but this place is gorgeous. Robert Kraft spent $325 million of his own money to build the stadium. The state provided the infrastructure, did a magnificent job with it. Falk from the 9. Already has a kickoff return for a touchdown. Won't get another. Stopped at the 29. Let's check in with Chris Berman.
Michael, I guess the Bengals' time is December. Nicholas Lucci, a touchdown. They've tied the Saints at 13-0, but in true Cincinnati fashion, they missed the extra point. But later on, at home against the Saints, Lucci makes his point. The icky shuffle even. And the Bengals shocked the Saints 20-13.
Is that the Nicholas Lucci?
Yes, it is. That is him. Yeah.
Who's the other one?
The Luccis, you know that.
Smith, Compton in front. Out to the 37. Sam Cowart on the stop.
We talk about a lot of teams having fast linebackers. Talk about the Denver Broncos and the speed of their linebackers. You got Sam Cowart, you've got Marvin Jones and Mo Lewis. Lewis is almost 260. Jones runs around 245. Coward's probably the smallest of the bunch. These guys make up for their lack of speed with a lot of experience. Not that they're slow, but they really read keys well and can get to a ball carrier in the flat.
Smith this time on the ground and wedges his way out to the 40. Should be enough for a first down.
And now they'll start throwing a little bit more with 3:30 to go in the quarter. I just really believe the Patriots at some point have to challenge this Jet defense down the field. You've got to try and go up top.
That's only their third first down of the first half. Reverse to Patton. And Patton out to the 47-yard line, ducks under Donnie Abraham and Nick Ferguson.
You know, you just wonder about why they're not going down the field. Now, it's not because they don't have any speed to get down the field, because they do. They have Brown and they have Patton, and they can get downfield. But I think that the problem with this football team right now is in their offensive line. I think they're having a terrible time blocking. And what's happening with the Jets is they're not really sending anybody but the 4 down linemen. They're not blitzing.
And they're getting enough pressure with those 4 to make it interesting for Tom Brady. Antoine Smith on the toss. Close to another first down. Marvin Jones made the tackle. Nice block by Compton on the corner.
I'll tell you, I just love the way these guys unload. They're on both teams.
You know what, Paul? I don't think Tom Brady is right. I look at him and I just don't see the fire. You see the fire in Chad Pennington. You see him get all excited. Tom Brady just sort of wanders around out there and looks lethargic.
أوربت تضع أثمن الأشياء في متناول يديك. احصل على جهاز أوربت XT300 مجانا. اشترك الآن بأسعار جديدة ابتداء من $10 شهريا. اختر باقة ألفا التي تعطيك جميع قنوات أوربت العربية التي تعرض قمة الإنتاجات التلفزيونية والسينمائية حصريا، إضافة إلى قناة CNN الإخبارية و20 قناة إذاعية. وإذا أردت جميع قنوات أوربت 47 اختر باقة الميجا التي تشمل 7 قنوات متخصصة للأفلام، 7 قنوات رائعة للمنوعات، قناتين متميزتين للرياضة، قناتين وثائقيتين، 5 قنوات إخبارية عالمية، 3 قنوات للأطفال، و21 قناة موسيقية إذاعية وتلفزيونية. ومع كل باقة يحصل المشترك على أكثر من 400 قناة فضائية مفتوحة من العرب سات ونايل سات وغيرها، إضافة إلى خدمة تي في ماكس المشاهدة حسب الطلب. مهما كان خيارك، أوربت تضع العالم بين يديك. أوربت، العالم عالمك.
The quest for the ring begins here.
Tune in and feel all the excitement of a college basketball special as the Harlem Globetrotters take on Maryland Wednesday night at 9 on Orbit ESPN.
Coming up the half, Chris Berman will have the Toyota halftime show, and we'll have our fastest 3 minutes in television, all the highlights, the big sticks, and the Broncos-Raiders rivalry finally turns the Oakland Raiders' way. Congratulations to them on a big win today.
What a job Bill Callahan's done taking over a good football team and making them better.
And congratulations to those guys who are going to get pneumonia for Christmas. Brady under pressure, hit as he throws, and it's out of bounds. John Abraham putting the pressure on.
Well, the thing about John Abraham is he doesn't quit. You take a look at it. You know, there's John in the backfield. Abraham's. He doesn't quit, and he's gone. Here comes Brady. He's rolling right out into Abraham.
Well, you saw some leadership from Abraham after that, too, because Josh Evans was jawing at Brady, and Abraham just reached up and grabbed him to get him out of there. Dangerous pass goes whistling over the head of David Givens. And if Aaron Beasley is thinking about the ball instead of the man, he's gone.
And if Kevin Falk catches this thing, it's going to be dangerous for him because John Abraham is going to absolutely kill him. If he catches that thing, look who he's running into.
Yes, sir.
I mean, he is running dead straight into 94. He'd be headed down Highway 94.
All you're doing
for a train wreck
is saying thank you, thank you.
Wow.
3rd and 10. They blitz. Brady under pressure again, lays this one up and dropped. David Givens dropped the ball. What a throw by Brady.
I'm going to tell you what, you can't throw this ball any better. You have to catch this. This is one of those babies where you don't catch it, you just leave your uniform and go right up into that tunnel and get out of here. Look at this ball. Is this perfect or not? I mean, that you can't put the ball any better than that. He looked it in.
He does. Yeah, well, he watched it go is what he did. You're right, though, Paul. You can't throw it any better. And I think that's the Patriots have to do more of.
Moss again deep and a beautiful high floater that Moss lets go, and it kicks into the end zone. Let's check in with Susie.
Mike, Chad Pennington told us on Friday the key to tonight's game was going to be connect on 2 long balls, one of them for a touchdown. Mission already accomplished early in this game. He hits his go-to guy, Lavernius Coles. The two of them always on the same page. Coles told me before the game, it's almost like they read each other's minds. Then this play, the touchdown to Santana Moss, the beautiful play-action fake. Ty Law told us when Moss is on the field, they all holler, watch out for 83. Pennington spreading it around. He always seems to see the field. Mobility, toughness. He's getting it all done tonight.
Thank you, Susie. He has had a spectacular first half for the Jets, and he's got Santana Moss flanked out to the right this time. Corbett is in the slot. Beck split out. Pennington steps up from the pressure, throws, and Moss can't make the catch. Terrell Buckley is right there. T-Buck nearly had another interception.
You know how many guys they had around Santana Moss?
2 men.
17.
Now, you talk about receivers always catching the ball. Sometimes you have to play defensive back. That was a good case of Santana Moss knocking the ball out of the hands of Terrell Buckley.
Two other guys.
Buckley's got 4 interceptions, and he doesn't play a whole lot.
And how many times has T-Buck's career been declared over by somebody, and he just continues to play brilliantly whenever he gets the opportunity? Draw play, Martin. Ouch. Stopped at the 22.
Well, if I were New England, I'd take a timeout. You've got a couple left.
I don't know why they waited. I mean, it's funny. The play, you'd think that you'd get your defensive players together on the sidelines. You say, okay, at the beginning of this series, this is what happens. If we get an incomplete on first down, and they run it on second, I want you to call a timeout right now. They let 15 seconds just run off the clock as they looked over trying to get it done. Herm Edwards, on the other hand, he's got to make a decision. He's got to decide whether they put the ball up in the air, try and pick up the first down, or run the play and make them use their last timeout. Because remember, New England lost one on a challenge earlier in the half. I think you try and go for the first down.
But don't you also think if you're going to throw it deep in your territory at this time, you throw a little swing pass, you throw a screen, you throw something that's going to be safe?
I think if you find Wayne Corbett, you got a chance of having it be safe. So maybe he goes in the slot for you, and he works inside against the linebackers and the nickelbacks.
Moss will come off on a possession down, and Kevin Swain will come in.
Wayne Corbett's lined up in the backfield in the slot real close, so top right of your screen.
And it's a draw play instead that is going to be just shy of a first down as Mike Vrabel is there to make the play.
Mike Vrabel is there, and I just thought that Curtis Martin might have had just a little bit more to hold his balance and pick up the first down because that hole was there. Vrabel is the guy that saves it.
And New England has used its final timeout of the half with 1:11 on the clock. Check in with Susie.
Well, Mike, earlier this season, Curtis Martin hit the 10,000-yard mark. You know, we know he doesn't spend a lot of time looking at stats, but this one means so much because he says it's built on what he values the most, consistency. Every year he works to improve on some part of his game, fine-tune it, and of course his teammates so impressed this season, as Joe mentioned earlier, playing with not just one sprained ankle this season, but two. He has never complained, never an excuse for Curtis Martin.
And one of the amazing things about him, Susie, he's the single-season record holder in rushing yards for both the Patriots and the Jets. Brown on the return, slammed down at the 36 after a 13-yard kick. Next Sunday night at 7:30 Eastern, join Chris Berman and Tom Jackson. They'll have NFL primetime for you. Then Brad Johnson, Warren Sapp, and the Bucs go to Champaign to take on Brian Urlacher and the Bears on ESPN's Sunday Night Football at 8:30, and the Bucs may well be playing for home field advantage in that game.
I think that Brad Johnson got caught up in the Michael Vick hype of this season because Brad Johnson is a Pro Bowler.
Couldn't agree more.
Second-rated quarterback in the NFC, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Michael Vick is not there as a quarterback, but I think Michael's a great player, but as a quarterback, Brad Johnson certainly deserved the Pro Bowl.
Four-man rush. Pressure on Brady. Hit as he throws.
I agree with
behind Brown, and once again it's Josh Evans.
I agree with my pal. I agree with you, except for one thing Michael doesn't. See, Michael got a $2 million bonus for going to the Pro Bowl.
Michael doesn't mind. Michael's tickled with that. He really doesn't care
that you don't care that he goes.
He doesn't care whether Brad goes or not.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, Michael Vick is a phenomenon. I mean, he could have gone as a running back. You got to create a new category, like a, one player, a special player selected type of category.
They have that. They got special teams.
Yeah, you go to special player.
Short gain out to Patton, taken out of bounds by Donnie Abraham.
You know, guys, I'm excited already for the second half of this football game because I don't believe the New England Patriots, with so much at stake, having to play Miami here next week, can continue this type of a game plan. I think they've got to do something to attack the New York Jets defense. They've got nowhere doing what they've been doing.
Well, first of all, the secondary is covering very well for the Jets, and the defensive line, they're getting into Tom Brady's face. Now, I don't know what else that he can do. Here they come. He just got hit again and was lucky to get that ball away.
And Kevin Falk was dragged down immediately by James Darling. Excellent coverage by him, and it's short of a first down.
John Abraham, number 94, top of your screen. Take a look at this. I mean, you don't have time to throw the ball. Here he comes again. You don't have time. Matt Light is the guy that's supposed to be blocking him, and they're going to get Brady killed.
But the only deep ball that they've thrown could have been caught by David Gibbons for a big play. That's
agree.
What I mean. That's why I can't wait. I'm really curious to see what happens in the second half. What are the Pats going to do in the second half to try and create and generate some offense?
Well, remember, if they win both of these games tonight and next week against Miami, they would win the division outright and be in a much better shape going into the playoffs. The Jets, of course, have to win both and get some help.
Now, you saw those stats, okay? Chad Pennington's numbers versus Tom Brady's. Remember, at the end of the first quarter, Chad Pennington had like 160 yards passing,
that's right,
okay, and 11 for 11. Now, he's only completed about 30 yards of passing, so the Pats' defense has done the job.
I'll tell you, a lot of teams, when you're ahead by 7 points, and the clock's running out, they let it run out. Not when you got Santana Moss. The Jets took a timeout because they want him to handle the ball one more time.
They forced the punt on 4th and 1. Moss waits at the 10. And they'll whistle the play dead. It looked like Chris Hayes, number 29, moved.
Got that icky shuffle out there. He started moving a little bit.
False start. Offense, number 29. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
And Hayes punctuates the penalty by bumping into the referee.
Yeah, and this is one of the things you don't want to do. Now you back him up a little bit further, and he may not be able to reach the end zone, and Santana Moss can do this. What I don't understand is why they don't have 2 guys on the gunner down here.
Santana Moss could have a chance to reach the other end zone if he gets a chance.
He's done it twice already this year on punt returns.
I think because they're going to return this thing right.
Well, they kick it short.
Short kick that he's not going to be able to get to. Only a 27-yard punt, but as long as Moss doesn't get his hands on it, maybe not a bad idea.
Ooh, the Gillette faithful going a little
testy,
restless here, a little uneasy with what they've seen. 27 seconds, you kneel down, right, Paulo?
No, I think you throw one deep. I'd send Santana Moss down deep to that secondary and let it fly.
All right.
They're talking over their options on the sideline with 27 seconds left. 2 timeouts as well.
I don't think so. I think you kneel down. You've had a good solid half. Go into the locker room on a positive note. You wing one up there, it gets picked off. There's no telling what's going to happen.
But you're logical. You're logical, and that's what they should do. But with all that speed that they have, spread those guys out and let it fly.
They only come with 2 wide receivers. Moss to the top of your screen. Draw to Curtis Martin. They go the conservative route. He's out near the 40. And after that play, you expect they'll just let the clock run. New England can't stop the clock, and the Jets aren't going to. And that will be the end of the first half. Susie with Herman Edwards.
Your quarterback got off to a hot start. You could see them making adjustments. How do you counter that in the second half?
Well, I just think if we can continue to just play pretty good defense and our offense can get going, running the ball a little bit more, I think that will open some lanes up for us to pass.
Well, your defense has held them to just 3 points. What more can you do?
Well, we have to try to get a turnover. That's what we need. We need to get a turnover and really get a short field for our offense so we can score some more points.
Good luck in the second half.
Susie, our score here at Gillette Stadium, the Jets 17, the Patriots 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime show.
Hi, Mike, thank you. Boy, the Jets playing with the poise, the Patriots not as much so. A 7-point New York lead on the road. Well, we saw Miami open the door by losing on Saturday in that AFC East. Will a couple of teams in the AFC please stand up and take charge for yourself? One that did. The Tennessee Titans. As we look at our fastest 3 minutes, Tennessee knew that if they won at Jacksonville, where they've had a nice history, they'd be at least in the playoffs. Eddie George, a couple of touchdowns in the game. But what gets delivered on Sunday? Sermons. Peter Sermon delivered it for Tennessee. The Titans win 28-10. They've won 9 out of their last 10. They are scalding hot. The Giants at the Colts. Jeremy Shockey. Boom! To David Gibson, setting up a touchdown by Tiki Barber. And then this play, thrown about 55 yards in the air on the flea flicker by Kerry Collins to well-dressed Amani Toomer. He had 3 touchdowns. Giants shocking the Colts 17-3. And then here's Toomer again from Collins. 44-27, G-Men stay alive. Colts do not clinch a playoff berth. Tennessee has won the AFC South. Saints and Bengals. Don't tell me that Nicholas Lucci is going to score and tie the game, although the Bengals missed the extra point. And then Lucci, 6'2", 267. Icky shuffles it. The Bengals have beaten the Saints 20-13, really throwing them for a loop in their playoff hope. Want to see an alert play? What? Mike McMahon. Johnny on the spot is James Stewart. The Lions trying to come back against Atlanta. But Michael Vick to Brian Finneran beginning it. Falcons win next week. They're in to beat the Lions 36-15. Who would have guessed 10-0 Brett Favre against Drew Bledsoe at Lambeau. But there's Favre to Donald Duke and the driver for a touchdown. Bonnie Holiday 5 sacks. The Pack are 12-3. They knocked the Bills out of the playoffs. 10-0 Pack. Only undefeated team at home all year. 8-0. Final minutes. Tim Couch, Jamel White, Cleveland down 13-7 at Baltimore. What is it about the Browns in the final minute? And what's it about the Browns on the road? Tim Couch, Mark Campbell. Browns stay alive. They're 8-7. They win 14-13. Early on, Mark Bolger, back injury, knocked out by the Seahawks. Later on, big game, Matt Hasselbeck, 300 yards passing. 2 TDs, Sean Alexander. Seahawks slice and dice the Rams, 30-10. Rodney Peete, Carolina, to Steve Smith, who socks his way 69 yards. Down at the 2-yard line. Next play, D. Brown finishes it off. The Panthers winning at the end of the year. They beat the Bears 24-14. David Carr, in the record books for Houston. Not the way he wants to be. Sacked by Darryl Gardner, sacked by future Hall of Famer Bruce Smith twice. That means 73 times he's been sacked. Most sacks ever by one quarterback. Skins beat Houston 26-10.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota. Get the feeling.
Coming up, mano y robo in the AFC West. Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers. How will the West be won?